War is hell. We've all heard that, right? And it's true. War is hell. Horrible things can happen in war. Innocent women and children can die in war. Friendly fire incidents. Your own guys get killed by your own guys. It's a horrible thing, but sometimes it must be fought. Iraq was not one of those wars. No weapons of mass destruction and all kinds of problems. World War I, World War II, absolutely a war of necessity. We had no choice. Absolutely a just conflict. As far as Ukraine goes, well, I'm going to stay out of it as far as I'd like to see some peace, okay? Wouldn't you? I'd also like to see less talk about how much ammunition the Ukrainians have and we have. You're not supposed to talk about these things. The ultimate expert on war, a guy named Sun Tzu, who lived like 4,000 years ago in China, said this: the whole secret lies in confusing the enemy so that he cannot fathom our real intent. I like that part about confusing the enemy. Our commander-in-chief is not up to it. He's confused himself. And the other day, when he said out loud, which this stuff is classified, these are the real secrets.
The Ukrainians are running out of ammunition. The ammunition that they call them 155 millimeter weapons. This is a war relating to munitions, and the running out of that ammunition, and we're low on it. And so what I finally did, took the recommendation of the Defense Department.
So America is low on its ammunition. Ukraine is low on ammunition, according to him. I know. Oh, I read that in the newspaper. Well, it shouldn't be coming from the commander-in-chief. There are some things you just keep your mouth shut about. You know who really likes this news? Vladimir Putin. I mean, this gives him all kinds of insight into what the Ukrainians are doing, could do. What about us? What are our capabilities right now? Low on ammunition. What Joe Biden mentioned in that interview to CNN, international television, that was a real secret. And he should have kept his mouth shut. That was a real secret. This is fake news.
Wait a minute, let's see here.
Yeah.
I just found, isn't that amazing? This totally wins my case, you know. Mm-hmm. Except it is like highly confidential.
Yeah.
And he said it in private, and we don't even know what documents he was looking at. Maybe it was a newspaper. Said it in private. He said it in his home, not on international television. We know now that it looks like he was talking about the military's plans to possibly deal with Iran on a military basis. You know, it would be really shocking. You know, it would be news if we did not have plans to take on Iran. What I'm saying here is what Donald Trump said is totally obvious. We know that, and he said it in close quarters. What Joe Biden did was on international television. Let's compare and contrast. Can we please?
The Ukrainians are running out of ammunition. The ammunition that they call them 155 millimeter weapons. This is a war relating to munitions, and the running out of that ammunition, and we're low on it.
Yeah.
I just found, isn't that amazing? This totally wins my case, you know. Mm-hmm. Except it is like highly confidential.
Yeah.
What was the real threat to national security here? I think it was what Joe Biden said. You don't talk about ammo supplies. If you have little ammo, say you have a lot. If you have a lot, you confuse the enemy. You don't put it out there like that. Does that sound simplistic? It is. It's supposed to be. It's child's play. And Joe, when he goes overseas, often says he does not want to cause any trouble, but he does.
I sometimes get myself in trouble for what I'm about to say. I'm going to get in trouble with staff if I don't do this the right way. I shouldn't say this. I'm going to get in trouble. I'm going to get in real trouble. This is the last question I'm taking.
You know, it's not cute anymore. It doesn't make anybody laugh. It's certainly not the hallmark of a leader going around saying, I'm going to get in trouble with some underling. He got in, I wouldn't call it trouble. The real damage was that Fareed Zakaria interview. He gets to Lithuania, and there's plenty of awkwardness, all right? That's the president of Lithuania, who just seems to be totally running the show. I mean, okay, yeah, he grabs him, manhandles him a little bit, sit down, kind of ordering our president around. You know, he's Joe Biden, but he's still our president. And let's see. Oh, how to get out of a car. He should know this by now, right? Go to the red carpet. He doesn't make it all the way to the red carpet. He's got to tell him, I don't know. Are we nitpicking a little bit? I don't think so. I think he should be better at this stuff. And then there was this moment. He's studying his notes for a while, just really, really studying it. And then he starts talking.
Mr. President, it's good to see you again. I'd like to be with you, and we're this historic summit meeting.
You see that, Mr. I don't know. We are nitpicking a little bit, but it comes with the territory. Oh, and then there was this guy who promised transparency, to be honest and open with the reporters. Every time there's a question, he just kind of stares.
President Zelensky called it. President Zelensky said it was absurd that Ukraine doesn't have a timeline for membership. What do you make of his comments, Mr. President? What's Ukraine's timeline for membership?
Tony Blinken, right? Secretary of State, he just looks embarrassed to be there. And what happens behind the scenes? I mean, here he is being all he can be in public. Behind the scenes, I hear it's even worse. Now this. Tommy Tuberville, senator from Alabama, the coach, don't give up. I know it's hard right now. He's doing the right thing. He has basically made it his business to suspend military promotions until we can get this thing straightened out with abortion in the military. You know, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, they are so political now, so in cahoots with the Biden administration that, well, they want to facilitate abortion where they shouldn't be facilitating abortion. They shouldn't even be talking about it. Here's the Secretary of Defense.
80,000 of our women are stationed in places where they don't have access to non-covered reproductive health care. This policy is based on strong legal grounds. I assure you that we have great respect for this body, Congress, and we will do everything within our power to make sure that we continue to work with Congress.
Hey, isn't that really big of the Secretary of Defense? Huh? He's respect for Congress and will do everything he can, within reason, I suppose, to work with Congress. These guys work for us, and they seem to forget that. Now that brings me back to Tommy Tuberville. Again, the Pentagon right now is facilitating travel for thousands of soldiers and their families all over the country to get abortions, and paying them and giving them vacation. But they're not charging vacation time. It's 3 weeks off. It's crazy. They should have gotten congressional authorization. There should be a law. And he said no more promotions at the general level until I get some answers. Good for him.
There is no set rules on this. It's just, hey, if you want to have one, have it. We'll pay for your flight anywhere to a state that can do it. We're going to give you 3 weeks off, paid. That doesn't come out of your time off as a service member. There's a lot added to this, and it's going to be charged to the taxpayer.
All right, absolutely. I agree with him. There should be answers. And as I said last night, a lot of folks in the military, especially generals, they don't deserve promotions right now. So what comes up? What's the response to this? White supremacy. Senator, that's all well and good, but we need to talk about race for some reason. And they tried to get him in trouble. Listen to this. Do you have a problem with this? I mean, it's a minute long, all right? We're not going to cut and splice, not taking 8 seconds. We're going to have the whole exchange.
To be clear, you agree that white nationalists should not be serving in the U.S. military. Is that what you're saying?
If people think that a white nationalist is a racist, I agree with that. I agree they shouldn't.
A white nationalist is someone who believes that the white race is superior to other races.
Well, that's some people's opinion. And I don't think,
That's
I mean,
not
a lot.
opinion.
Pardon?
What's your opinion?
My opinion of a white nationalist, if somebody wants to call him white nationalist, to me is an American. It's an American. Now, if that white nationalist is a racist, I'm totally against anything that they want to do, because I am 110% against racism. But I want somebody that's in our military, that's strong, that believes in this country, that's an American, that will fight along anybody, whether it's a man or woman, black or white, red, it doesn't make any difference. And so I'm totally against identity politics. I think it's ruining this country, and I think that Democrats ought to be ashamed for how they're doing this, because it's dividing this country and it's making this country weaker every day.
Well, for what he said right there, they're trying to drive him out of the United States Senate. I heard him condemn racism about 3 times there. He's against racism, 110%. People should fight with people. It doesn't matter what you look like, right? Now, what's it called? White nationalism, that's not top of mind. But I know what he's getting at. In the early days of the Biden administration, they were trying to equate MAGA with white supremacy. Do you remember that? And they used it as an excuse to root out extremism in the military. There's just this whole thing, and it was all fake.
Resurfacing of white supremacy has been just an extraordinary phenomenon in the past few years.
Terrorism from white supremacy is the most lethal threat to the homeland today.
One of the greatest threats to our national security is domestic terrorism manifested by white supremacists.
We are living in a nation that is actually full of racism and white supremacy.
Now, white supremacy, as we all know, is awful, and those who believe in it, if they're off in the woods or if they're in prison, if they break the law, they should go to prison, but you're free to be an idiot, okay? But the white supremacy thing, it's a ghost, a phantom, and they're using it as a weapon, and they're trying to stigmatize lots of people who have nothing to do with white supremacy, and it's happening in the military.
We must also acknowledge that our military faces challenges, a rise in white supremacy and extremism within the ranks.
This was so political, and report after report, and they're trying to justify this kind of rhetoric, right? White supremacy here, white supremacy everywhere. In addition to potential violence, white supremacy and white nationalism pose a threat to the good order. Just overstating it for political reasons. So back to Tommy Tuberville and Katie, whatever her name. It's kind of like getting Donald Trump, remember during the debates, condemn it, sir, condemn it, sir. I've already condemned it. I'll condemn it. It's a word game they play. Yeah, and they love the opportunity to be indignant. Check this out.
That is, Caitlin, the most abjectly racist statement I have heard from a U.S. senator in my life.
I think he's old enough to remember Strom Thurmond. And, what about the current sitting president who is a former United States senator? His name is Joe Biden, and this is the most racist thing I've ever heard.
But I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
Yeah, it doesn't get any more racist than that. That the color of your skin indicates how you think or who you are. Or you should be judged on the color of your skin, not the content of your character. Well, back to Tommy Tuberville. He's getting some heat right now. I don't believe he deserves it. He's a good man, and he knows leadership. And quite frankly, yeah, he's worked with people who don't look like him. And it didn't matter on the field. It doesn't matter in uniform, in our country's uniform. And I admire him, and I think he's going to get through this. And I hope he gets answers on this whole crazy thing they're doing with abortion at the Pentagon. Good luck, Senator. We'll be right back.